Hi. Okay, so I just wanted to come on here to articulate what has just culminated inside my brain. So I'm going to start from the beginning. Right now, I'm in a humanistic psychology course, and I'm going to a school that's based in humanistic psychology, which is basically, it's founded from Abraham Maslow, which was a thinker um, in the 20th century on holistic thought. And he did the self actualization, the hierarchy of needs, as people may know. But he wanted to explore the potentiality of human existence. So, how, what, what is the, how far can we go? How great can we be? What can we do as humans? What are we able to do? Let's explore how great we can become. And so it's looking at the human experience specifically. So a lot of natural sciences just focus on, specific objects and the ins and outs, but humans are a little different than, other forms of life and more like weather or like other objects too. They're Humans are very complex, and they have, this intelligence that we're able to communicate with each other and express ideas. But so we have this like mind and body type of situation going on where we like can imagine, but also we're physical beings as well. And so to measure humans in terms of natural science is like being always fixed by laws and reducible to chemicals and numbers. This humanistic psychology grew out of a response to this way of looking at people. They're saying, No, humans are much more than these reduced things. They're beings with full, nuanced, and colorful experience, an inner experience that can't be explained away like many other natural sciences. So it needs its own kind of science. It needs a humanistic science. And so right now I'm exploring the history of the humanistic science, and it starts way back when in the Greek period, back before, like, I think it said 600 to 300 BCE. And so, I mean, it actually starts kind of before this, but what led to this first wave of humanistic thought? Because it comes in waves. This thinking that's grounded in creativity and human potentiality and human flourishment. It's viewing humans in terms of their wholeness. So this thought comes in waves. So there are three waves: the Greek period back in 600 to 300 BCE, ancient Greece. Then it happened again in 1300 to 1600 with the European Renaissance. And then it happened a third time in the late 20th century in the US with the beatniks in that period. But going back to the first ancient Greece wave of thought, what inspired these people? We're looking at the history, and how these people came to be was they're the Hellenes, and they migrated between 2000 and 1000 BCE into an area already inhabited by these Mycenaean people, and which is, an outgrowth of the Minoans. So this Minoan culture was a blend between Phoenician and Egyptian, but they were the last culture in the West to be a matriarchal culture. And they viewed the divine power, the power to create new life, as a feminine energy. And so this feminine married to the Hellenes gods of the sky gods, which were male sky gods. So the Minoans' female Mother Earth gods with the sky gods, and they fused, they combined to create this holistic understanding of the experience because it's combining these two energies. So it seems that this wave of s- holistic thought, so this type of thinking, this thinking based in holistic and creative and human potentiality and flourishment is a lot of it resembles the thinking of the right hemisphere. The right hemisphere is associated with creation, creativity, arts, music, holistic thinking. It's got the traits that's really associated with the right. And the rest of the time, the left hemisphere is very logical, analytical, and it seems that's the baseline. But then we go through these waves of right hemisphere thinking. And it's through these waves that we transform as a society. Like, these are Renaissance periods that mark human enlightenment and evolvement into being better people, because that's what these periods are focused on, is how can we be better people and how can we be our full selves? How can we be the most human that we are? And what does it mean? So just exploring ourselves, inner focus. Wow, okay. I just made that connection. But anyway, this idea of feminine as creation. So feminine, a lot of, feminine traits, arts, it is kind of associated with so the right hemisphere is associated with feminine traits, and then the logical and rational is associated with masculine traits, though that's we each have these energies within us. But this marriage of the two, that is what makes creation. I mean, that's what makes new life in general, is the man and woman coming together and fusing their energies. But it is through the woman. It is through the woman that she gives birth. Although it does take both energies, it is through the woman. And so I think right now, at this current point, 2026, I'm in America, we have a huge emphasis of God as a masculine being. The feminine, there are feminine, figures in the Bible, but God is a masculine being, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Let me get a drink. But I think to match w- our experience of creation, I mean, God as creator, you would think the feminine would have a bigger part to play, and they would be represented in our concept of divinity and create the creator being. It would have this feminine component. And so I think that's what we're missing right now. And I mean, I think it starts with individuals coming together to make change and realizing these things. And so I think if we want to live in a society that emphasizes creativity and arts and human flourishment and looking at people as whole beings, we need to honor the feminine aspect, because though it is a marriage of both energy, this feminine is left out right now. It's it's not as emphasized as the masculine, logical, rational. We need to emphasize the creative parts to ourselves. Bring this feminine aspect to light so we can have these two in marriage again for true creation. And so we can do that by, as individuals, explore your creativity. Make something. Make anything. Draw something. It doesn't have to be good. Just explore, experiment. I think if we do that as individuals, we can come together and maybe, I mean, create a new wave in thought. But it starts with us, I definitely think. And so, yeah, let's get creative.